What's going on, y'all? So listen, girl, what's going on? I apologize. No, actually, I don't. I had to stop coming over here doing that. Girl, actually, I was gonna try to get this out yesterday, but as you can see, I got the lights down low. You know, um, I don't know if it's because the weather changed or whatever. My sinuses, well, that's probably what it is. My sinuses have been acting up, and it had my eye acting up. Like, this eye has been twitching for the past couple of days, and then it got a little bit tight, and I'm like, oh my god, girl, what's gonna happen? So and it's all connected. It's all connected, and so it's dry. I've been putting drops in, putting warm compresses on, and girl, I'm just so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. Um, I ain't really, y'all watching Power. I'm gonna be real with y'all, girl. I forgot it was coming back this week. Also, I wasn't gonna do a video yesterday either way because it was my mama's birthday. So happy birthday to my mom, 59 years old. Girl, I gotta show y'all the picture. I'll show it to y'all later, or I gotta ask her, can I post it? Cause I had gave her a present or whatever. My sister said she had to go put her makeup back on, go put her earrings back on, fluff out her hair a little bit or whatever, just to take the picture of the gift with. Girl, I said, let her be the diva that she is. It's her day. I just love the fact that my mama is still here for another year. And that's just all to it. But anyway, let's just get up into this video. Because, girl, Power book 4. Is this book 4? Power goes Raising Cain. Okay, yeah, book 4, Force. All right, season 4. Season 4? Is this really season 4 or season 3? Girl, I don't know what season this is. Whatever. Episode 3. No, episode 1. Okay, we'll figure it out in the title. But we gonna get into it. Let me tell you something. This left so long, I forgot a lot of the stuff that happened. Okay, I watched this a couple of times so that a lot of stuff can start to come back. So remember last season, Tommy and Morena. Is it Maria? Yeah, Tommy and Maria, Miguel's sister. He the little kingpin out there. They messing around. They was messing around. And of course, he done found out that, or I should say Miguel done found out that Maria was messing around with Tommy, tried to keep her locked up, basically. And she was like, absolutely not, brother. Absolutely not, brother. I'm grown and I'm tired of being your little prisoner. I'm tired of you trying to tell me what to do. Now I'm gonna be with Tommy no matter what, and you better not put your hands on him. And I was like, you really gonna trust him? Because at one point she threatened to shoot him, and then he was like, you know what? I ain't even gonna hold you. I love it when I see a movie or a TV show when the person get threatened to get, you gonna pew somebody and they pull the blick out, and then the person that they threatening come up to him with the blick and then be like this, and I be like, shit, you got a ball with it, bitch. That gets me every time. I be like, damn, you ain't scared of nothing. He was like, you ain't got the guts. She was like, you know what? Well, if I ain't gonna do you, I do myself. And then I said, girl, that defeats the purpose, because then your man, you still ain't gonna have your man, and then he gonna still kick your man. Like, what's going on? I'm confused. Like, don't do that. And she was like, you know what, Ashley, you are correct. I'm not gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is, you keep my man alive, and I won't tell Shay, okay? I won't tell Shay, I should say, that you the one that had his little brother killed. You had Armando killed, okay? And, keep my man alive, and I'll keep your little secret. And that's how it is, okay? Of course, he was like, cool, whatever, but bitch, it ain't over, okay? Because he was like, you fucked over the family. She was like, girl, get the fuck up out of here, all right? And so, Tommy had got that when we left off. We left off last season with Tommy getting a phone call saying basically that they got Maria. So now he's pissed as shit. He was like, what the fuck? I was like, what type of accent is this? Because y'all know Tommy is actually from the south side of Chicago. Joseph, whatever the hell his name is, he is from the south side of Chicago. So for him to be in Chicago with this fake ass New York accent or whatever type of New York accent he is trying to give. Girl, New York, New Jersey, whichever one, okay? It is so funny to me and it's so exaggerated. I'm like, baby, speak normal. Mind you, ain't he on the new season of Reasonable Doubt? I have not started that chat. I'ma start it. I keep on saying it. I'ma start it. Shout out to them because they got renewed for season 4. I already knew they were. So then you get that. And Diamond like, what's good? What's going on? Because he comes up in there. He's telling them it's Diamond, Vic Flynn coming up in there telling them like, y'all got to get the hell out. The DA and all them, they done found and got a drop on us because we got to snitch, okay? And so therefore everybody got to leave so they won't get locked up. Vic looking confused like who the snitch because he's the snitch. He's the rat, all right? He's working for Stacy up there in the DA and all that stuff, right? And so, he goes up out of there. Diamond like, what's going on with you, Tommy? Tommy is real pissed off and he real on the edge because he got to go find his baby. Okay, he got to go find his little baby girl. And so, he said, go do what you got to do, okay? I'm going to be good. Go ahead. Bitch, that was like, you moving a little bit funny. And it was like, yeah, but, it's for good reasons. Of course, he go down there to see Miguel and Maria already gone. Okay, mind you, it was like, Miguel, Maria, where you at? Where my girl at? Because mind you, Miguel had told Maria, listen, Tommy, the only reason why he going out with you is because he's trying to get at me. You always trying to make stuff about you. It's not about you. And you want to know what? I love Tommy because he ain't as scared of you and you can't control him like you do all the other ones that I was with. Because I said, oh, you better calm down because your brother look like, you know what? All you got to do is hide his insulin. Exactly. Okay. And so, Tommy came there all big and bad. He got his ass whooped over that girl. And I feel like in that moment, Miguel realized that no, Tommy ain't doing this to get at you, baby. Tommy really love your sister. Okay, he was ready to go to war. He was like, listen, it ain't no me without your sister. I said, oh, don't show your weakness, all right? It's always a woman that bring him down. It's always something that bring him down, for real, for real. But basically, he told him, you know what? I'm going to let you live. Go ahead and do what you got to do. But if anything happened to my sister, I'm going to fuck you up, okay? And it was like, it is what it is. Meanwhile, you got Stacy coming over there to the hideout spot and realizing that, oh, we didn't got played because ain't nobody here. But she called Vic's, burner phone, and the burner phone was there. And so at this moment, she go into her little screaming fit, and throwing out the phone and breaking it up and everything. And I said, you ain't have to destroy that phone like that. I know you was a little upset because you're a little uptight and you doing the absolute most, but you didn't have to do all of that. And so basically they have a little debriefing too at the office. And her whole thing is she trying to get Tommy. She wants to get Tommy because now she feels like Vic is dead too. And because she couldn't find him, but she only found his phone. So she just realized, or she just assumed that he was dead. And then that lady, I think her name was Jenny or whatever from the DNC, she came in to talk to her and basically said, you got a couple of kingpins. You got within the cartel and all of that stuff. So basically the DNC and everybody, they looking at this like, this is a good job. So we want you to run for mayor. Okay, because the current mayor is about to be a scandal with some shit finna come out, about all the corruption that he been doing. And so we want you to be the candidate. And she was like, oh shit, okay, well listen, I gotta go ahead and finish this whole thing with Tommy Egan. She said, girl, leave that Tommy Egan stuff alone. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So she go back in with her people and her tune has changed. Mind you, her husband realizes this. And, she just was like, everything all to the good. But then this is when they get the message that something happened. We get to Murkovich, right? Murkovich was the big bad guy last season for practically the past couple of seasons along with Flynn, right? But mostly last season. He got caught up. They got his ass, put him in jail. So he was up there in an interrogation room talking to this lawyer that works with the Ortegas, right? Ortega is from the Mercado cartel. one of them cartels, okay? So Ortega is the head of that. The cartel that Miguel worked with, Che is the head of that, okay? So we got two different ones. But with Ortega, oh, excuse me, told you, sinuses. Sent his lawyer up in there, right? And he was like, sign this paper just to get you extradited. You go back home to your country. You be all to the good and everything. And as soon as I seen the lawyer, first of all, it's always a lawyer that ain't even looking like them. I was like, wait a minute. I had to rewind. I said, is he Asian or Hispanic? Because he could be a little Filipino, because you can't. Yeah, if you know Filipinos and yeah, okay. But you just never know. And then I was just like, what's going on? Because when he smiled, it was just so like, I don't trust that. I got a little nervous. I said, ooh, why you smell like that? It feels like you about to murk me. What's going on? Girl, he signed in the thing. Murkovich thinking that he got it. And he was like, tell Ortega, bitch, I'm forever indebted to him, or I got you back, whatever. And Mr. Lawyer Man said, oh, he knows. Now, when he said that, I said, something about that didn't sit right. So then we get this another scene later on. Murkovich is at his in his little cell by himself. And I guess the guards then went past and all that stuff. I don't know if it was lights out or whatever, but hey, he gets up. And while he was signing them papers from the lawyer, he flipped up the side and it was this little orange, like yellow paper or whatever, orange yellow paper. And he took it and he slid it out and all that stuff, whatever, cool. And so when he was in his cell, he finally opened it up. He took it out of his pocket and he opened it up and he looked away from the camera when he opened it up. And all of a sudden he was looking at it. I said, damn, bitch, you can't read. Now it baffled me how long he was standing there looking at it. It was a good 15 seconds. I said, oh my God, it was just one word. Goodbye. I said it took you a second to realize that. And then he gasped. He was like, and I said, oh my God, what's going on? You're so like, whoa, what's going on? Bitch, I thought it was said gotcha, or I lied to you, some shit like that. No, next thing you know, he started gasping and he started grabbing at his throat. He's choking. And I said, what's happening? He falls on the floor and he's foaming at the mouth and it's just dripping. And I said, oh, you're drooling, vampire. What's going on? You're about to come back? And he said, absolutely no, I'm just going to stay here and not live. I said, oh no, what's happening? Bitch, I don't know what type of substance was in that little thing. But baby, it was white, and like I said on the paper, it said goodbye. That is sinister. I ain't even gonna hold you. Because my thought is, was it like anthrax? It couldn't be anthrax. Couldn't be anthrax because it hit him real quick. It hit him real quick. As soon as he opened up that thing, he opened it up and he just like that. And then 5 seconds later, he was out of there. So I'm like, what type of chemical would do some stuff like that, hit you real hard like that? And who put it in that little Post-it note? Because that's what it was, a folded up Post-it note. Who put it in there? And if it's that, and it's airborne and it hit you so quick, when the guards come in there to see that he dead, won't something happen to the guards too? Because the powder was right there on the floor too. Girl, I was thinking about all this. I said, damn, how many people finna die behind this? So now they found out that Murkovich is dead. This is going to hurt Stacy's case because this is part of the reason why they want her to do the DNC, because Murkovich is one of the big fishes and they got him, right? But now he dead. And then we found out that Claudia got shanked up in prison. Girl, Claudia ain't dead either. I said, oh my God, why is she still alive? Okay. I thought we was finna get all of the Flynns out of here. They said, not too fast. Not too fast, girl. We are, but not too fast. Not just yet. And I said, oh, damn. But, so they went on ahead. Stacy tried to come down there and talk to her about Flynn and all of this stuff in the Ortega organization and all this shit. Stacy, you really thought that lady was going flip? She said, get the fuck out, bitch. Mind you, she was also talking to the lawyer for Ortega. And, before he was about to help her, he was about to put her out of misery because he was getting the impression that she had something to do with all of the bad stuff that was going on. He had to go back and do his little research, and he came back and he said, okay, your check's out. You ain't had nothing to do with this. And she said, I'm so glad you believe me. He said, you want me to be honest with you? I didn't believe your ass. I said, you know what? All right. All right. So she put it on Shanti. She put all of this mess on Shanti and Tommy. Okay. And so when Tommy came back to see Damon and Vic, he basically said, we got a mole, we got a rat, and Vic was being so like, if y'all gonna do stuff, I need y'all to like get a. If you can't be a double agent, you can't be a rat working with somebody else if you don't know how to have a good poker face, okay? Like, you know, he was just clamming up as soon as he said that. And as soon as he saw Tommy, he was just really clamming up like, oh my God, what the fuck? And I'm like, calm down, bitch. He ain't gonna say that it's you, even though Tommy already know Vic is the mole, but he ain't finna put him out there just yet. But he told him it was Shanti, okay? And that Shanti was, you know, working with Claudia, and she the one that helped set up Murkovich and all this stuff, whatever. And so that's the same thing Claudia had told Ortega's, you know, lawyers or whatever. And so now they trying to get Claudia up out of here, but they got to take care of the fact that Murkovich is dead. So now they got to go down to the Albanians trying to get their business. Come to find out, Miguel done got the business first. Okay. And so now it's like Tommy got this way of trying to intimidate people and trying to make it seem like, listen, I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared. Okay, like he bone crush up in this piece. He go meet up with Miguel while Miguel walking to his car. Now, Miguel, I'm just really surprised that you would be walking outside to your car by yourself. Okay, at night like that, Tommy could have took you smooth out. But Tommy just let him know, oh no, it ain't personal, baby. This is about business. This is about capitalism. Okay, mind you, them motherfuckers was this close to each other. I said, y'all about to kiss? I know one of y'all breath stinks. I know it does, okay? Because they was this close to each other. You know, doing that one up and all this stuff. And basically what Miguel came to the notions when he was talking to his little homeboy, he not gonna touch Tommy. But Tommy gonna get got. If he got anything to do with it, he not gonna personally do it. He gonna make it so that Tommy's enemies have to come through and take his ass out. And he gonna do it soon. Okay? Mind you, the Ortega crew, they said that, oh, we finna take Tommy and Shanti out by the night. Okay? They did try to send some people to take her ass out too with him. But, you know, that didn't happen. And Tommy and Shanti wind up taking them niggas out. And at this point, they confused his head like, what the hell is going on? Then he realized, because he looked at one of their tattoos, it was like, oh, this the Martel or whatever. And so it was like, oh shit, what's going on, bitch? You know? And so at this point, when we get to Shanti, I don't even know, girl. Usually I want to root for my sisters. Okay, I want to root for my sisters. But both Stacy and Shanti is not giving me nothing to root for. Y'all on the wrong side. Y'all on the wrong side. Okay, Stacy up here trying to take everybody down the legal way. Probably cutting a couple of corners too. But then you got Shanti up here just trying to be so backhanded. Like you really getting your thoughts into this man's head. You got Jannard. You know Jannard is just... he gullible, he naive, he a little slow, okay? And that's why he couldn't run CBI the way that, you know, Diamond had things running. And that's why he feels the way that he feels. The fact that Diamond trusts Tommy way more than he trusts him. Because, bitch, you wasn't doing nothing with CBI when I was in jail. Now I come through and everything's working a little bit better. And Tommy on my side and you feel some type of way. So Shanti and him still got this whole plan to basically take Diamond out, take Tommy out, and take over and be the head of CBI. Listen, let me tell you something. You may be in charge of your little thing over there in Garfield Park, Miss Shanti, but to do a whole organization like this, absolutely not. The way that y'all moving, you will be taken down real quick. It wouldn't even fucking work, okay? Jannard, he's weak. That's what I should say. But he was fucking the shit out of her on that goddamn... in that boxer, and I said, "Ooh, all right." And then I see that cauliflower ear, and I was just like, "Oh my god." He does not have one of those in real life. They added that. I don't understand why they did, but I hate it. Okay, no shade to the people that got cauliflower ears. Y'all can't help it, but I just didn't understand the reasoning behind putting that up there. Showing that he's imperfect or whatever. I don't know. They were the ones that sent the information to Miguel, or she had Jard send the information to Miguel that Tommy was fucking around with his sister. So they thinking that Miguel finna have Tommy taken out. And even once they got through, first of all, I was a little too disturbed because as soon as they got through, he bust his and she bust hers. Girl, they put their drawers right back on. I ain't see nobody wipe nothing or anything. I said, okay, that's nasty. But all right, they sat there basking in it or whatever. I would have been okay with it if you didn't put your underwear and stuff back on right away. Y'all did that right away. Let that shit breathe if you're not going to go ahead and just wipe it off, Like, I felt some type of way about that. And she was like, wait a minute, because I ain't got no word or nothing. It's after 6 o'clock. We ain't hear nothing about Tommy being dead or nothing like that. Jard was like, just calm down. Just wait a minute. And mind you, I know Miguel, and I seen a motherfucker torture somebody. And he like to take his time with it or whatever. So, he probably got him up on the ropes like that. Meanwhile, it was another scene where they up in there talking about taking Diamond out. And I could have sworn as loud as they talking, as loud as they are talking, the way Tommy came in and said, what's up, people? What's up, my good people? I could have sworn he heard the whole thing that was saying. I could have sworn. And they was looking like he did, but, of course, if he did, we don't know. He gonna act like he didn't. And so they do got this plan where, Shanti is supposed to be doing a double thing. She's supposed to be working with Claudia, and she's supposed to be working with Tommy to get Claudia, and vice versa, whatever. So they got to keep her on the low. So Jard is sneaking to see her and all this stuff, whatever. So they got this whole plan into action. Meanwhile, they don't realize that Tommy and Diamond, well, mostly Tommy got a plan to take both their asses out. Mainly her ass, okay, too. It's all a mess. Everybody is being faulty to everybody. And it's just, Vic gets up into Stacy's car. She realized that he's still alive and, almost shoot his ass. Because I said, oh, you don't get up into nobody's car like that. First of all, Stacy, you work in the FBI and all that stuff. Why your door ain't locked? Mind you, I know you just got in the car, but lock the door as soon as you get in. That's what I would have did. Why the other door unlocked? You getting into one door, why lock them? Okay? And so basically he was like, no, Tommy don't think that I'm the rat. He think that it's this other girl, so I'm off the hook and it's all to the good. He think that he can go ahead and go because Tommy done gave him a little pay, told him to go pick up some stuff from the other territories on the south side or whatever and do what you got to do. And so now he basically like, I'm done with this. And he thinking that he finna get out. He go to Paulie, who was, remember Paulie, his daddy right-hand man? Go to his wife, house and basically was like, yo, get his envelope to the U.S. Embassy or whoever the hell if something happened to me, but this gonna be the last time that you see me, this gonna make up for everything that happened, and I'm sorry for all of this stuff. And she was like, this is gonna be the last time I speak to you. And he was like, this gonna be the last time. This gonna be the last time. I said, damn, old lady, you ain't got nobody. That's crazy. Meanwhile, Claudia up in there with her girlfriend. You done got that girlfriend. Listen, it was blowing me the way that they was doing this. Now, I know you white or whatever, but you a criminal, okay? And I feel like it's universal that you don't talk business on the goddamn jail phone like that. You had Claudia talking to her girlfriend on the visitation jail phone, talking about some, tell Ortega, get this to Shan and tell Shan that the hit on Tommy didn't go the way that it needed to go. And you got to go take out Shanti and do this and do that or whatever. She was like, oh my God, I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm going to do this. She was like, baby, you got to do this. You got to do this because I need you and I love you. And then he go, oh girl, well, Claudia, I'll do anything for you, Claudia. I said, I will never tell somebody that because that's a lie. That is a lie, okay? But then she was like, okay, cool, girl. They talking business. Then you got Jannard getting a page from King Kilo. He up there talking about, let's come down there and talk to me right now. So he go to the thing, and they in there talking business. King Kilo want him to take out D-Mac. Okay, that's JB's son, Tommy's nephew, the boy that killed the cop and killed Kilo's son. I said, oh my God. Y'all are just really talking all this stuff out loud. You don't care about nobody overhearing, putting more time on your prison sentence and all of this stuff, conspiracy and everything. And King Kilo basically was like, take that motherfucker out. I can't even go to sleep knowing that he'd have killed my goddamn son. Is it his son or his nephew, whoever the fuck it is? Take him out. I think it was his nephew, whoever. And Jannard was like, wait a minute, bro. You told me. I thought we was going, me to hold him, watch him until you get out and you take care of himself. He said, I said take care of his ass right now. You got 1 week. Mind you, we saw him pop up talking to Diamond, trying to get back into CBI. Diamond telling him, you need to calm the fuck down and just hold off until I get this shit situated. See, you want to get back into the crew. You can't even take orders. You got to prove that you can fucking take orders. This is what got you in trouble in the first place. I was like, he honestly, if something do happen to the little boy, something happened to the little boy. You roaming around the streets, looking at Instagram videos, that's fine. But while you out, okay, Jannard pulls up on him because Shanti basically told Jannard, go ahead and do what you got to do. But then again, don't do what you got to do. No, let me take that back. Jannard went over there to talk to Diamond about what happened with King Kilo and what he said about D-Mac, right? And so at this point, he wound up trying to be like, I don't know. And then Diamond said, you know what? Fuck it. Go ahead and do what you got to do with it. If this what we got to do, this what we got to do. And he was like, don't feel bad if that you got to take out D-Mac because Tommy ain't really being all the way fair with you. And he was like, what you talking about? He was like, the boys be telling me that they seen Tommy coming out with Mariah. So he doing something with Mariah. He was like, word? You been sitting on this? He was like, yeah, man, but I wasn't sure, but then I didn't want to make it seem like something because you already know me and Tommy don't get along or I had an issue with him or whatever. So, of course, Diamond confronts him and Tommy said, it ain't going to be no fucking problem. Don't even fucking worry about it. I said, yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. It's already a goddamn problem because she telling you something. Promise me that you won't kill Miguel. He said, baby, I love you. She said, I don't give a fuck, nigga. I said, promise you gonna kill my brother. She said, you know what? Just stop right there. Okay? I don't want to see you until you can promise me that. I would have been like, well, damn, bitch. It was good knowing you. Tommy love that. Tommy is Tommy really, he gets somebody and he really, first it was Holly. Then it was Keisha. Keisha, right? Lala character. And everybody got killed. Wasn't it somebody before that? Now it's goddamn Mariah. Child. Baby, once he found a girl, he latch on to him and he actually love him. Who does that? What nigga in the street does that? Okay, I guess there's some out there that's like that. But hey, eventually he do go over there. And she understands that, you know what? You got the streets. I know what I'm getting myself into. Go ahead and do what you got to do, baby. I was like, all right. But Jannard pulled up on D-Mac and got his ass up in the car because Shanti said, if King Kilo wants you to do him in a week, make it a couple of weeks and then a month. He ain't got nothing but time. So, what we can do is pull D-Mac in, lure him in, give him what they all want, which is money, a little bit of clothes, jewelry, and all this stuff, and membership. And then we take his ass out. They basically trying to set shit up. And see, let me tell you something. This is going to be their downfall. Because they doing too much. And it's going to be Jannard's down. Jannard, I feel like he's going to die by the end of the season. Because one, Shanti is pulling all of the cards. Between Shanti and him, he's listening to her. And she's pulling all the cards. She's coming up with every fucking plan. And he's just going along with it. And she's going to eventually get that idea in her head like, I'm just using you to get up to where I need to go. I don't really fucking need you. And she going to probably take his ass out. because at this point he's a loose end. All right, he ain't worth it to nobody. He really ain't. Which is sad, but truth is true. Meanwhile, Tommy went on ahead and got the Italians, and he getting all the peoples, to, get on his side. I was waiting for one of them to say, "You gonna get down or lay?" I'm finna watch State Property after this. You gotta get down or lay down. Bitch, that Bings, nigga. Y'all gotta watch this on Tubi. You ain't never seen it. Quality. Meanwhile, what else wound up happening? Yeah, Vic tried to leave. Tommy and Diamond popped up on that ass. Okay? Diamond popped up on that ass and basically said, "Listen, bitch, we know that you the goddamn snitch." And he said, "How long you knew?" "Bitch, we been knew." Okay? And it was like, "Oh, you finna kill me?" And it was like, "No, nigga, we ain't finna kill you. You finna be our mold in the inside to the FBI. And I said, "Oh, how this gonna work? How this gonna work?" Boy, he looked so stressed out. And it was like, we gonna try to get Claudia. Claudia was the one that put us all into this stuff, whatever. And I'm like, okay, everything is about to break down, if you ask me, because the peoples is doing too much. Stacy about to lose her man. All right, because like she said, you doing all this shit and this is just all about your goddamn ego. You ain't even care that I got a little bit demoted, and I done already told my boss that I'm finna get the fuck up off this case, so you figure it out yourself. And I was just like, oh, you gotta go home to this? You gotta go home to this? Girl, you might as well go sleep somewhere else tonight, okay? Because your man feels some type of way about you. But basically, that was the end of the episode. I mean, for it to come back after all of this time, I ain't gonna lie, the episode was good enough for me. A lot of action. It didn't drag. So, I'll give them that. At least this is the last season, because honestly, I don't know where it can go. But, hey, we'll see. You guys tell me how you feel. I hope you guys enjoy and have a wonderful start to your week. Girl, it's cold as shit out here. Bitch, fall came for 2 weeks and left. Girl, it snowed a little bit last night, but then when I woke up, it wasn't no snow on the ground. It was drizzle snowing, like it was just a little snow, but it's not sticking, so it don't look like nothing. It rained like a bitch last night, too. And I feel like I think it's going to be raining tomorrow, and it's a possibility that it might snow again. But then the weather going back up, because it's like 30 degrees outside, okay? Well, actually, it didn't get below freezing yet, or it didn't even get to freezing. It's like 34, 35, 36. And so then it's supposed to be like back up to the 50s and to the 60s later on this week. Bitch, what the fuck is going on? Anyway, y'all be safe out there. I'll see y'all later. Peace. Good old Chicago.